Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Just a Fan. It's your host Ben, and today I'm going to be giving you my predictions for the Champions League quarterfinals. Let's get into it. First, we're going to start with the most exciting leg, in my opinion, with both these teams, is Bayern versus Inter. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting matchup. There's so many reasons why. Again, first, obviously, all the talent on both teams. These are two huge clubs for where they are just nationally in both Italy and Germany. And I just think that this is realistically going to be probably the most competitive matchup that we have for this specific, these games. It's just personally what I think is going to be happening. Maybe the PSG and Villa game will be pretty close too, and we'll get into that. But that's really how I'm feeling when I look at this matchup. And for me personally, I have Inter winning this 2-2, but I think it's going to be going to penalties at the end of this. And my main reason for that is, number one, it's going to be at Inter and the second leg, and I know how that place is. Nothing against where Bayern plays. I just know that building is really very, there's a lot of aura, and it can be a little suffocating at times when a team is really going against that crowd and the Inter team as well. I also just trust Inter's manager way more than Company. That's just how I feel. He's way more experienced. Inzaghi is more experienced. He's been in these situations. Not saying that Company hasn't been there as a player, but I haven't seen Company in these big games fully be in these situations where it's against a very good team. So I'm leaning that as well. And then a stat that I thought was really interesting: Bayern have scored 28 goals in the competition. Now, Inter has only scored 15, but Inter has only conceded 2 goals and has kept 8 clean sheets so far. Bayern has already conceded 14 goals. So for me personally, and again, that's why I'm leaning Inter, is because Inter just has a better defense. And again, with that being in Italy in the second leg, I'm going to trust that, and I'm going to trust that the overall, just that Inter's team is just going to come up in a bigger moment. And again, I think the experience with the manager will be a factor as well. So give me Inter to beat Bayern 2-2 on penalties. Next, we have the Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Again, prefacing this, I am an Arsenal fan, so this is somewhat of a biased opinion, but it's just what I'm going to be honest with. I have Real Madrid beating Arsenal 3-2 in this one. My main reasons for this are, again, the second leg is at the Bernabeu. That is just huge. We all know about the Bernabeu, specifically in the UCL. It sucks that Arsenal have to go there for the second leg. Really, we just would have rather gotten it out of the way and just finished it at the Emirates. But you're going to have to go to the Bernabeu, so that's going to be intimidating, of course. We know how that crowd is when Real Madrid are doing their thing in the UCL. Also, for me, I personally just cannot trust Arsenal to score right now. Yes, you put up 7 against PSV, or even more, but you put up 7 in one leg. PSV just suck. They suck, and they're not great defensively. And I just don't know what to make of Arsenal. Again, if you're watching Arsenal in the league, this team is barely even winning games strictly because they're scoring minimum probably 1 goal. It's very scrappy. It's not consistent. There are some small factors that could make a change. With Saka could be ready for these games, and I think he is a game changer, but he's still going to be getting his feet wet, kind of getting used to being back from that injury. So I don't know how much I can really put on Saka to carry this team anyways. But yeah, I'm just really worried about Arsenal's ability to score consistently, because even though I do trust the Arsenal defense, and I'm very excited to see Gabriel, Saliba, Timber against Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, I just know that realistically Real Madrid will score. They will score. It doesn't matter how good that defense is. They are going to score at some point, and I just have to be realistic. So I think Real Madrid will beat Arsenal 3-2. I think Arsenal potentially could score on them, either if it's from a corner or a Real Madrid mistake. Let's not act like Real Madrid have been world beaters this year, but I just think with the pedigree that they have, the Bernabeu in the second leg, give me Real Madrid to advance. The next one is very interesting, and again, I mentioned it in the Bayern Inter preview. PSG versus Aston Villa. I have PSG winning 3-2. And really, this one could go either way at the same time. Both these teams, in my opinion, are pretty great. They're again balanced on both sides. I like both of their attacks. I think they both have solid defenses. I like their managers. There's just a lot to like with this leg. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And obviously, with Emery, he used to coach PSG, so there's that factor as well. But for me, the reason I'm leaning towards PSG is, number one, their attack has just been so good. It's been very good, and I'm not saying Villa don't have a bad defense or anything like that, but I just think we saw what PSG could do versus Liverpool. I think they'll probably be able to do that versus Aston Villa, though. Of course, Villa has one hell of a goalkeeper. Not saying Liverpool doesn't either, but still, I think that they will be able to score. Personally, also, I just think that with PSG center backs, seeing what they did against Liverpool, I think they will be able to give Villa some problems. I would say Villa overall has probably a better attack than Liverpool. That might be slightly biased just due to the moment. And obviously Salah is very heavily carrying that Liverpool attack. But, you still have some solid options with Villa. But I just am going to trust PSG. Again, seeing what those guys did on the biggest stage, I think they'll be able to do enough to help out that PSG offense. So we'll see about that. I will say, though, the last leg being in Villa will be very big. That place is going to be getting up for it, specifically if they know this might be the last time they'll be in the UCL for a little bit. So, again, I'm going PSG, but this is the one where it could be a coin flip as well. Last, this one's going to be very, very quick. Barca versus Dortmund. I got Barca. I got them winning 4-1. And there's not much to say other than that Barca is just a more consistent team. They're the better team. They have the better manager. I just love what I've been seeing from Barcelona. They are a fantastic team. I love their ability specifically to score. And again, Dortmund has just been a little wishy-washy in the Champions League, and they've been even not very great domestically. And I'm just going to take the better team here. I think maybe they give them some problems, but I just think the scoring for Barcelona is going to be way too much for Dortmund to handle, and I think Barcelona will comfortably move on in this one. So that's what I got for that. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. Drop your predictions down below. If you don't like any of my predictions, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation about it. And if you like my type of content, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.